Yao Ming was a towering figure both on and off the basketball court. Growing up in China, he was already a local legend due to his father's success as a basketball player. After a successful career playing basketball in China, Yao Ming was drafted by the Houston Rockets in the NBA draft, becoming the first international player to be selected first overall. However, his journey to the top was not without its challenges. Injuries plagued him throughout his career, ultimately forcing him to retire prematurely. This is the tragic but inspiring story of Yao Ming. Yao Ming was born in Shanghai, China in 1980 to a family of athletes. His father, Yao Ziyuan, was a famous basketball player who had represented China at international competitions. His mother, Fang Fendi, was a professional volleyball player. As a child, Yao was already tall, standing at 6'7" by the age of 13. His height was due to a rare condition called acromegaly, which causes the body to produce excess growth hormone. Despite his size, Yao was initially hesitant to pursue basketball. He was more interested in math and science and worried that his height would make him stand out even more. However, his father encouraged him to give basketball a try, and Yao soon discovered that he had a natural talent for the sport. He began playing on a local team and quickly became a star player. By the time he was a teenager, Yao was already being touted as the future of Chinese basketball. Yao Ming's height was both a blessing and a curse. On the one hand, it made him a dominant force on the basketball court. At 76, he towered over most of his opponents, making him a formidable presence in the paint. He also had impressive speed and agility for his size, allowing him to move around the court with surprising grace. On the other hand, Yao's height also made him a target for opponents who saw him as an easy mark. He was often the subject of rough play and dirty tactics, with opposing players elbowing and pushing him in an attempt to knock him off balance. Despite these challenges, Yao continued to excel on the court. He played for the Shanghai Sharks for 5 seasons, leading them to the Chinese Basketball Association Championship in 2002. That same year, he was also named the MVP of the CBA. Yao's success in China caught the attention of the Houston Rockets, who selected him with the first overall pick in the 2002 NBA draft. It was a historic moment, as Yao became the first international player to be selected first overall. Moving from the Chinese Basketball Association to the NBA was a major challenge for Yao Ming. He had to adapt to a new style of play, a new culture, and a new language. One of the biggest adjustments Yao had to make was to the physicality of the NBA game. In China, he was used to being the biggest player on the court. In the NBA, he was facing opponents who were just as big and strong as he was, if not more so. Yao had to learn how to hold his own in the paint, using his size and strength to his advantage while avoiding fouls and injuries. Another challenge for Yao was adjusting to the language and culture of the United States. Although he had studied English in school, he was not yet fluent when he arrived in Houston. He had to work hard to improve his language skills and to adapt to the different customs and traditions of his new home. Despite these challenges, Yao quickly became a fan favorite in Houston. His height and skill on the court made him a dominant force in the NBA, and his affable personality and sense of humor endeared him to fans both in the United States and around the world. Although Yao Ming was a dominant force in the NBA, his career was plagued by injuries that ultimately forced him to retire in 2011. One of the most serious injuries Yao suffered was a fracture in his left foot during the 2005-2006 season. He missed the rest of that season, and although he returned to play in the 2006-2007 season, he was never quite the same player. He struggled with foot and ankle problems throughout the remainder of his career, and he was often forced to sit out games or limit his playing time. Yao's injuries took a toll not just on his body but on his spirit as well. He once said, "I have been living with pain for the past 6 years. It is not just the pain from the foot injury, but also the pain of not being able to play to my full potential." Despite the setbacks, however, Yao remained committed to the game and to his fans. He continued to work hard to improve his skills, and he never lost his love for basketball. Unfortunately, Yao's injuries finally caught up with him in 2011. He suffered a stress fracture in his left foot, and doctors advised him that continuing to play could cause permanent damage. Reluctantly, Yao announced his retirement from basketball in July of that year. Yao's retirement was a blow not just to his fans but to the NBA as a whole. He had become one of the most recognizable and beloved players in the league, and his skill and athleticism had helped to popularize basketball in China and around the world. If you enjoyed this story and want to see more like it, please subscribe to our channel for regular updates on inspiring stories from the world of sports and beyond. By subscribing, you'll be helping us to continue to bring you high-quality content that entertains, educates, and inspires. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to sharing more great stories with you soon.